Hi, I am Dr. JP Silvera from TaylorMade Health and Wellness, and I want to talk about something a patient said to me last week that I honestly haven't been able to stop thinking about. She almost didn't come in. Not because she wasn't in pain, not because she didn't think she needed help. She almost didn't come in because she was afraid of the popping sound. And when she told me that, I didn't brush it off because I hear some version of that all the time. People who've been dealing with neck stiffness for months, people who wake up every morning with that dull ache between their shoulder blades, people whose pain is real and persistent, and they're sitting on the fence because nobody ever explained to them what actually happens during a chiropractic adjustment. So that's what this video is. I'm going to walk you through what the pop is, what it isn't, what we're actually trying to accomplish, and why this matters, especially if you've been in a car accident. By the end of this, you're going to have a clear picture of the whole thing, and I think it's going to change how you feel about it. Let's start with the sound because that's what stops people. When a chiropractor applies a controlled, specific movement to a joint that has become restricted, you will sometimes hear a popping or cracking sound. Sometimes you won't hear anything at all. And here's what that sound actually is. Inside every joint in your body, there is a small capsule filled with fluid. That fluid contains dissolved gases, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. When the joint is moved quickly through a specific range of motion, the pressure inside that capsule drops and those dissolved gases release. That release creates a small bubble, and the bubble creates the sound. It's called cavitation. It's the exact same mechanism that happens when you crack your knuckles. It is not bones grinding. It is not something breaking. It is not the treatment itself. It's just a pressure change in a fluid-filled space, and it happens to make a sound when it does. Here's what I want you to hold on to. The pop is not the point. The point is the movement. When a joint in your spine stops moving the way it should, and this happens for all kinds of reasons: posture, repetitive motion, an old injury, stress, just life, a whole chain of things follows. The muscles around that joint tighten up because your body is trying to protect it. Nearby nerves get irritated because they're now dealing with a joint that isn't cycling through its normal range. And you feel all of that. You feel it as stiffness when you turn your head. You feel it as a dull ache that sits between your shoulders that ibuprofen takes the edge off but never fully clears. You feel it as tension headaches that start at the base of your skull. Your body is good at telling you when something is off. It's just not always great at pointing to exactly where. What a chiropractic adjustment does is restore motion to a joint that has lost it. When we apply that controlled movement, we're giving the joint the stimulus to move through a range it has been stuck at the edge of. When that happens, the muscles around it can relax. The nervous system input from that joint changes, and that whole chain of compensation that your body had been running starts to unwind. Now, I want to bring this home to something specific because I mentioned car accidents, and I want to explain why that's not a random example. When you're in a vehicle and an impact happens, even a low-speed rear-end collision, your body goes through a motion it was never designed for. Your head and neck move in a way that happens faster than your muscles can respond. Your muscles are good, but they can't contract fast enough to protect you from a force that moves in milliseconds. So the joints take that force. And what often happens is that the small joints in your cervical spine and your upper back become restricted. The ligaments can get strained. The muscles go into a guarding pattern. Here's the part that catches people off guard. You might feel fine in the hours right after the accident. Adrenaline is high. Inflammation hasn't fully set in yet. People walk away from accidents thinking they're okay, and then 2 or 3 days later they wake up and they can barely turn their head. That delay is normal. It's how soft tissue injuries often present. And if you wait too long to have it evaluated, those restricted joints can become a long-term problem. The muscles that guarded around them stay tight, the movement pattern stays altered, and what could have been addressed efficiently in the early weeks becomes something that follows you for a year. If you've been in an accident, even a minor one, and you felt some stiffness a day or two later, that is your body asking you to have it checked.